or their help. And they'll say, hey, can you help me do this? Can you help me do this task? And what I'm hoping that you will get from this conversation today is a few ways that I will share with you how you can answer them or respond back when they say, hey, can you do this thing for me? Or can you help me with this? There are so many videos that exist that tell us to tell them no. And in the real world, it's hard to just do that, especially if there's someone you love or someone you care for or some initiative or program or organization that you're part of. It's not easy to just say, hey, no, go jump in the lake, kick rocks. Let's go do what you're going to do. That's not as easy to do. And so what I'm going to give you is a couple of thoughts on that. And thank you guys. Hopefully you can subscribe. Give me any comments that you wish. The TBT channel is different than what you hear in some of the other productivity channels. I will give you time and talk to you about apps and programs, but a lot of times I want you to philosophically think about it. Philosophically and critically think about, well, what is my time being done? For those of you who joined the Time Leadership course, please, it is out there. It will be free for a short period of time left, and then it'll be something that we will ask for support in. So when someone asks you, hey, can you do this thing for me? Your first answer could be no, but if your answer is no, and it's a flippant no, then you may be doing more harm than good. That person may lead you, by you doing the thing, it might lead you to an opportunity that you are yet to uncover, or network, or program, a job, something that you don't know of yet by doing this action for a person. So the first bit, I will always tell you, the first kind of thought about how to approach this is just very simple. Hey, can you do this more for me? Really, can you tell me more about it? And what are some of the steps involved with this thing you're asking me to do? Because here's the truth. A lot of times when we ask somebody to do something like one task, it's not one task. It can be an entire project, or it can be a life-spanning initiative that takes you days and hours and all kinds of things to do. But the person who's asking you, they're not doing this necessarily to push you off. There are some people who are trying to do that, but most of just need help. They just really want your help. But having them think about what that is and how big it might be is kind of a first step. And that might require you to meet with them. That's much longer than just telling someone no. Get out my face. No, it's all about me. I got to do me first. Asking them about what it might require to do this task is very important, because a couple of things might happen. You might not be the right person to do it. Second thing is, it might be more than one person to do it. And the third thing is that, and this is the one that I run across the most, is that it might not be necessary. They're asking you because on a whim, they're saying, that'd be cool if. So can you do it? And next thing you know, you're doing a cool if instead of something that might really help them or help their organization. I had someone ask me recently, they said, hey, can you just go to an event for me? And it took up like my whole day. Did I tell this person, or did I go back and say, hey man, this thing took my whole day? No, because it led to opportunities that I didn't know of before. It led me to those stats that I shared with you earlier. It led me to understand what was happening in a part of town. I've lived in this city, in Atlanta, for more than half my life. And every single week or month or day, I find a spot I've never heard of. So now I know a whole new spot with a whole new stage that I did not know existed. So for me, it was worth it. So that's step number one, just asking them what it entails. Once you find out that, then you might find that there might be other people that can do it. And the third thing and this is the hardest thing in a conversation, is that why do you think you need help with this? What is the reason for it? Is it something that'll help move your company or your life forward? Or is it a notch in your belt? Because here's the truth. Many of us are trying to control many other of us. And we try to find unique ways to get us to do things for each other. And we veil it sometimes and, hey, can you help me with this thing? But it's really an attempt sometimes for us to gain control where we're lacking control. And we don't know that sometimes. We're just like, my life is feeling out of control, so I'll just delegate it to Susie and to Bill and Jack and Jamal and just say, yo, can you just do this for me because I make my life better? But it doesn't, but holistically, does it? Because getting tasks done just for the sake of them getting done isn't good for them or you. So asking them, like, why is this a really important thing? Why is this important for you? And getting to the heart of the matter, because sometimes, I've had this conversation sometimes with people, like, why is this important? And they say, well, I was thinking, and then as they say it out loud and they go through it, they realize that, man, it is not as important as I thought it was. Or it's even more important. And Winston, you can't help me with this. I need like 2 other people to help me with it. Leading your time this way is so important. If you have a great app or program that you use for managing your time, that's great. And it's awesome. You should have one, because I recommend that you do. But if you have stuff on there that doesn't have value to not just you, but to people in your life, then it doesn't matter what the program is. The program is irrelevant. Don't matter. It could be the greatest, whiz-bangy, coolest, fastest, cheapest thing in the world. But if you're doing it and you are having things sucking time, as opposed to creating bounty in your life, it doesn't matter what the app is. Every time you do a thing, it's a secret. Here's a secret. Every time you do a thing, either it should move your life forward or move someone you love or care for's life forward. If it does neither one of those things, then it's not a task. It's not something, it's not a priority, let's put it that way. It's not. And when I'm finished talking to you right now, I have to go, even though it's the wee hour of the night, I have to go and get in my half an hour of something, exercise-wise, because that moves my life forward. I cannot talk to you if my health is not great. So when someone is asking you, think about that fundamental question. Does this thing move the organization, your life, the life of some people in my community? Does it move anything forward, even if it's just a little bit? If the answer is no, then why is it on anybody's list? Why is it on your list? Why is it on my list? Because that's the essence of time management / leadership, is moving our lives forward. We're only on this plane for a finite period of time. So everything we do should move things forward. Now, will it move it forward in the ways that you know for a fact? As I talk to you here today, and I'm going to be very frank with you, sometimes I feel like I've failed. Sometimes I feel like I failed my family. Sometimes I feel like I failed my community. Sometimes I feel like I failed myself because I put an unbelievable amount of thought into what I should be doing. not not for the sake of like the books and all of those things that says, hey, you got to do this because the book says, because personal productivity, yeah, if you do it, it's great. If you don't, life still moves forward. Time happens anyway. But why? I feel like that because I see people, they're 20 years old and it looks like they're doing wonderful. They're 30 years old or 50 or 60, and I don't feel like I've done that. Now, if you ask somebody external to me, like people that are in my life, they might give you a different answer about whether I'm a failure or not. I don't think that they believe it the same way I do. Um, Jerry Rice said something once when he was accepting his Hall of Fame speech, and he said the reason why he caught the ball all the time because he didn't feel like he wanted to fail. I don't feel like I want to fail. That's why I do this stuff. That's why I do the productivity life that I have. Because I feel like I have to give value. I have to leave some kind of legacy on this earth. What is that for you? Is it millions of dollars? Is it wonderful stories? Is it wonderful art or writing or being on film or theater? What is that legacy? That, my friends, is why we do the things we do. We don't do it so we can hit check marks on apps or in our bullet journal. That stuff makes us feel good. That stuff gives us dopamine rushes. But does it move our life forward? So that's the question I ask when people are saying, hey, can you help me with something? Your answer should be, perhaps, but let's talk about it. Perhaps, but let's discuss it. That sounds like it's taking more time than just saying yes or no, but it's giving value to your relationships with people. You're valuing their relationship, their question, by taking it a step further and wanting to know more. If you just say yes or no, it might make you feel good. But this life is about having, cultivating, growing, and honoring our relationships. So that's it. Think about that. Let's talk about it. Perhaps. And then, if you do decide to do it for them, chunk it up. Do not let it encompass the rest of your life. Say, I can do this for you, but I have these other priorities and it's going to take me X amount of time to do it. That way, my friends, you are leading time versus managing it. Managing it, something's already happened and you're just trying to fix it. No, leading is saying, you know what? It's going to take me chunks of time and it might take me X period of time. Does that fit within what you're saying or your request is? And if it doesn't, then perhaps I cannot do it for you. Or perhaps I can do it to a certain point, but I cannot do the whole thing. That's how you lead with your time. And at the same time, strengthening those bonds with people, because that's what it's all about. Don't do stuff. Don't do things for machines. Don't do stuff so you make it look good. The apps that you have on your phone or your computer, they're not real things. People are real things. So do it that way. This is Winston with Time Busters Tools. I hope you found this conversation valuable to you. I would love to help you more. And the more people more subscribes and follows that we have, we all know how those algorithms work. And I would really want to make sure I'm sharing this as part of my own personal life legacy with as many people as possible. And you can help me do that. So thanks. Talk to you soon. Stay safe. Take care of those you love.